Welcome to the NSIC Spotlight, the voice of the NSIC student athletes, powered by gpac. gpac, growing people and companies. I'm your host, Nick Corner, Assistant Commissioner at the Northern Sun. Today, we are joined by Logan Uttecht of the NSIC Championship Augustana Viking football team. Logan, thanks for joining us on the Spotlight.
Yeah, thank you for having me on today.
All right, as we do each week, how about we start with you telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am a senior at Augustana University. I play wide receiver. I am a business and nursing major. And after college, I'm looking to pursue a job in the ICU in the nursing field.
All right, well, you obviously made this decision to stay in Sioux Falls, go to Augustana University. What was it that brought you to play for the Vikings?
First of all, definitely the coaching staff. The coaches really believed in me and showed they cared about me in high school, I'd say. And I think you should go where you're wanted. And then also just the academic side of things as well. We got a good academic program here, and then athletically, I wanted to win football games, and so I wanted to join a winning program.
Winning program you joined indeed. NSIC champions, second time in the past 3 years. However, this year you won it outright. Does this one have a different feel being an outright championship versus co?
Yeah, it definitely felt a lot better than it did in 21. In 21, there's still kind of sour taste in your mouth because you're sharing it with a couple other teams. And so that was always a goal for us after 2021 to strive to win one outright. And especially for us seniors leaving, knowing that we did that, it was big.
You've played in nearly 50 games for the Vikings. What does it mean to leave knowing you were a conference champion and to get to play in the NCAA playoffs one more time?
It means a lot, and we're hoping we can play more than one game, obviously, but we got to prepare this week like it's the biggest game of the year because it's the only one we have. And leaving Augustana, knowing that we were able to accomplish some of these things is cool. And just knowing that I think the culture has changed a little bit around here since I came in, and that there is a little bit higher expectation around the whole program.
Yeah, so let's go back to that Bemidji State game. Obviously, a ton on the line with the winner earning the NSIC championship. Was there any scoreboard watching going on with that Minnesota Duluth at Minnesota State game? And if not, when did you find out the outcome of that game?
I would say there was no scoreboard watching, but after the first time I found out, I think was that it was done was after Javion got the pick six. There were some people talking about it on the sideline, mentioning that they had lost and that the game was close to over at that point with us being up 19 with 2 minutes left, I'd say. And so knowing that had happened was a pretty cool feeling, and seeing that we were about to get the job done as well was sweet.
Yeah, to clinch that game, Agent Zero, I've heard him called. Jared Epperson runs for over 100 yards and a huge 54-yard run that basically sealed that game. Talk about his play this season and what it means to have him back after he missed most of the season last year with an injury.
Yeah, it means a lot for our team, and he's a very competitive dude who really wants to win, which elevates the play of everyone else around him. And additionally, that he's a very good football player and makes a big impact on the field and what he does for us. And so, I mean, it means a lot looking back at our offensive production when he wasn't there the back half of last season compared to having him now. I'd say there's a big difference, and I think everybody else has also elevated their game from last year this year and playing a lot better. And so he makes a big impact for our football team, both mentally with his mindset and his competitiveness, but then also physically with how he plays and what he does for our team.
For sure. And NSIC champions moving on to the NCAA playoffs. The Vikings are in the 4 seed. You host Minnesota State on Saturday, 1 p.m. in Sioux Falls. Vikings defeated the Mavericks 28-10 back on October 21st in Sioux Falls. What were the keys to that victory, and what can you take away from that game that will lead to success again on Saturday?
I would say the keys to the victory in the first time was trying to control the pace, the tempo. I know they like to run the ball a lot and control the game. And so we tried to get up early, which took us a little bit, but eventually in the first half we did. And then from there, got a 2-score lead and then just controlled the tempo and the pace of that game. And then going into this next game, I would say is the same thing, but try to fast start earlier. And so we need to score points early, come out on that opening drive and find a way to get up early, and then hopefully get a stop from our defense and then continue to build on that lead and control the pace and the tempo of this upcoming game.
When it comes to game day, like we said, you've almost laced up the cleats over 50 times. When it comes to game day, any routines or rituals you do to get ready for a contest?
I don't have any freaky superstitious actions, I would say, but I like to just stay calm and hang out because I think if you get too excited, too hyped, too early, game day's a long day, and getting up at 8 o'clock and going to Devo and breakfast and meetings and all those things, you can kind of burn out. And so I like to just hang out, stay calm. It's just another day, same way I would treat practice. And then once the game gets rolling, then get fired up and get into that mojo and that zone.
Yeah, you mentioned burnout. You mentioned getting fired up for game day. Game day is easy to get excited for, but what drives you to excel, not on the field necessarily, but in the classroom and just every day to get up and do that grind?
Uh, I'd say first off is my faith, just knowing regardless if I'm at the highest of highs or down in the depths, something you can lean back on, something you can center yourself and ground yourself early in the morning and then stay that way throughout the day. That's the biggest thing I lean on and my biggest driving factor. And then secondly, it's just the people around me, my family, my teammates and coaches, those who I'm very close with. It's a lot easier to stay driven when you see all the work they're putting in as well.
All right, a couple more questions. What advice would you give to a young player to help them in their development?
First of all, I would say that it doesn't matter what other people say about you or think of you as far as athletics go. If they say you can't do this or you can't do that, that's irrelevant. That doesn't matter. That's their opinion. They can have whatever opinion they want. And then secondly, I'd say the best time to do it is when you don't want to. And so when you don't want to go work out, when you don't want to lift, when you don't want to run, like that is the best time to do it. And that's when you're going to get the most out of it.
Right, some great advice there. Last one, off the script a little bit, but College Sports Communicators Week just wrapped up, Appreciation Week. Ryan Hilgeman and his staff do a great job covering the Vikings athletics out there. Anything you have to say about Ryan Hilgeman and his staff?
They do an amazing job. I mean, from the media and the videos that they put out, like the cinematic Sundays they started this year and all that stuff, just to trying to get our name out there in other ways, and then how they have relationships with us and how they treat us rather than just trying to grab us and say, hey, can we just use you for this media thing? It's more of a relational thing, and they treat you like a person and truly care about you. And so they do a great job here, and we're very blessed and thankful to have them.
All right, well, thank you to Ryan, his staff, and all the college sports communicators out there. All right, Logan, best of luck to you and the Vikings the rest of the season.
Thank you.